every day and night.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Constitutionalist Podcast. I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard. That's Leonard. It looks French. It's not. It's Leonard without an O. Thank you for tuning in. As Graham Norton used to say on his show, let's get on with the show! For those looking on the 5 behind-the-scenes video channels, sneak peek videos, you will see, first let me say, this is a cheat intro again, kind of like I do on Saturdays if I'm presenting a video exclusive from prior, the same cheat. You'll see the same or hear on the 40-ish audio-only platforms, this same mini intro, but I am wearing the Book of Kennedy Project Carpe Diem book shirt because welcome to Books/Authors Week, just 1 week, for April of 2026. Prior, I had Books/Authors Weeks this time to get caught up on some back interviews of authors. I'm doing a singular Books/Authors Week for April 2026, Monday through Friday. Also, I want to say, at the end of each episode, I will tack on one of my newer, more recent Suno-created songs. If you remember, my dad, Ted Leonard Jr., the Polka Kings, tinyurl.com, the Polka Kings, to see that tribute page to him. He had a record deal. I used to write and record music the old way, get out a piece of sheet music and write out the actual song on the sheet music, the chords, the notes, the lyrics, but all my equipment's been long sold off, but thanks to Suno AI music system, I'm back to writing lyrics and releasing music again. Thank you, Suno. So each day, Monday through Friday of Books/Authors Week 2026, April, I will tack on a Suno-aided created new song from Joseph M. Leonard, J. Leonard Detroit on Suno. So thank you to them, and I've already delayed things, so without further ado, let's get to an author. Joining me today will be Maria Jane to talk about autism. Autism, there is a spectrum. In March, I had a show with April Langford talking about autism, so please check back on that episode in the back catalog. I will be talking to Maria Jane in April. I don't know exactly when the episode with Maria Jane will air, but there's a different kind of spectrum. I figured I should do an intro about first, and it's regarding ADHD and OCD. Those are both spectrums, and you might think that they are absolutely separate, but not always. Like myself, I deal with issues at times of a lack of ability to focus on something, ADHD, and OCD, brain type, where other times I can't stop focusing on something. Obsessive compulsive disorder, obsessed, and the brain won't shut off about something, will not. And over time learned, and I wrote songs about this, to let it go. Yeah, think the Disney song, right? Let it go, let it go. you have to learn to try to let some things go. And there's the other OCD more people are aware of and think and know of, at least Howie Mandel famously become a spokesperson for OCD in so much of him being germophobic. And his OCD is in the form of, like, he can't just wash his hands once. He obsesses over it and washes them 10 times, which I lightly touch on in one of my songs. So I have a Suno playlist, ADHD/OCD, at tinyurl.com/JLD on Suno, short for J. Leonard Detroit, on Suno, SUNO, music system, tinyurl.com JLD/JLD on Suno. So I wanted to at least refer to the spectrum, ADHD, OCD, and those who deal with a combo of the two, and OCD as kind of, in a way, two different things. It can be obsessive compulsive, like in one of the songs that I wrote about it, addressing the issue. Did I check the door? Did I check it? Oh, did I leave the stove on? Oh, check the stove 10 times. That's an obsessive compulsive disorder, as well as also just in your own head, your brain never shut off. A different kind of OCD, just obsessively rethinking through things, but not, worrying about something over and over. At any rate, okay, I don't want to drag this intro out. I just felt it important to do a setup to discuss its spectrum, like autism has a spectrum. There are different levels, different degrees of it. So I'm going to leave it there. And next up will be the discussion with Mary Jane, again, which will be recorded in April. Not sure when it will air. And again, check back before or after listening to the episode with Maria Jane, April Langford, the show that dropped in March of 2026. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Let's get to the next segment with Maria Jane. Joining me today, as promised, Maria Jane. And I say as promised because Maria doesn't know I recorded a whole intro before she got here. So I went into ADHD, just so she knows, and OCD. Those are spectrum issues also, and often in relation and conjunction with other compounded problems, as is autism also is. And I spoke with April Ratchford on it. Officially dropped April Fool's Day. No, April Latchford is a real name, and it was a real episode. It wasn't a joke. Talked about autism. But why I mentioned that and did an intro before Maria even got here is Maria Jane, the book author name, is also an autism awareness warrior. She approaches it and helps awareness by having autistic characters in her books. So that to me is connection and segue there. And I'm really glad Mickey, a mutual acquaintance of ours, was able to connect us. Welcome to the show, Maria Jane.
Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you're here. Before we get into the books, and I got a million questions running through my head. Not enough time to get to them all, but let's start with where were you born and raised, and significant places you might have been between, and that sorts of thing.
Right. I grew up in South Georgia, rural South Georgia, and I went to college in Atlanta and then moved to, I guess, sort of the Northeast. Lived outside of Philly for 9 years, and now I've lived almost 20 years here in the Denver area.
Okay. Well, I like the Colorado Avalanche more than I do the Philadelphia Flyers. So despite all those years of me being in the Detroit area, where in the 90s and 2000s, we had that wonderful fight rivalry going on where the goalies even fought. I was a goalie growing up myself, and I was involved in a fight. So I was like, yeah, it's about time the professional goalies got out and got in a fight. But you're not here to talk sports. What prompted you to want to have autistic characters in a book?
Well, I have several people in my life that are on the spectrum a little bit and wanted to explore more about how you have relationships with these people and how you can grow relationships with these people. And I was reading more about it. They have the reality shows now are so good that you could just like experience the culture and experience the people. And it just made sense for me to kind of incorporate a character, just because I'd been doing so much research and so much reading and so much paying attention to this community that it made sense to make this character have that challenge. If you call it a challenge, I don't, sometimes I don't like to call it challenges. Everybody has their own challenges, so it's just a different flavor.
Amen. I'm glad you put it that way. Right. Everyone has challenges of some sort. It's often, in some cases, depending where they are on the spectrum, a gift. So it is indeed all how you look at it and embrace the reality of it is what it is until there comes some miracle cure to help. All we can do is deal with symptoms, like with a lot of diseases, the best way we can. Yeah, and you had mentioned there's shows. I don't have Netflix, but I'm aware there's that Life on the Spectrum show. Is that
love on the spectrum?
Love on the spectrum. Okay,
even more romance related.
I knew it was something like that. So that is the one you were referring to.
Yes, and there is a romance series. It's a fictional series, and I'm gonna not remember the title of it now, but about a high school boy who, and it follows him through most of high school and how he deals with his day-to-day of being in a traditional high school and how he transfers to college and, and how he navigates all of those things. And I think it did a really good job of showing his challenges as well as his growth. And he was seeing a therapist and he had relationships, even though they look different sort of than your normal relationships. And the people around him, like I would embrace people around me, embraced him, right? And were able to be in those spaces with him.
I wrote down a note. Relationships work. All relationships are work. And that's why many relationships go to pot, is because people think they can just coast through them without putting any work. So all relationships of any kind with anybody else needs to be worked at. Yes?
Definitely. And everybody has their little quirks. So, my house has to be really clean, so I'm somewhere on that spectrum myself.
Yeah,
probably.
I'm on the OCD brain. Just I flip flop ADHD, OCD, sometimes having trouble concentrating on a particular issue, and other times I'm fully OCD brain where I just can't stop thinking. Yeah, I can't sleep because the brain won't shut off. I mean, yeah, well, shut up or shut off, however you want to look at that. I'm not on the OCD kind of Howie Mandelish. Now you're kind of on that spectrum. You've got to have an absolutely clean house, whereas he too is obsessed with the cleanliness, that sort of OCD.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every life is a story. Some just end too soon. Ryan's life unfolds through words on paper, dreams of youth, love discovered, and the challenges of growing up. He found purpose in love, joy in family, and meaning in every small moment. But even the strongest hearts can break, and sometimes life takes unexpected turns. Through laughter and loss, Ryan leaves behind something greater than memories, a lasting legacy. A short story, A Lasting Legacy, by Joseph M. Leonard. A moving reflection on life, love, and the stories we leave behind. Available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and hardcover editions. By Joseph M. Leonard.
Yeah, and I maybe, you know, who knows? Nature, nurture, it all factors in there, right?
Yeah, yes, it does. Yes, it
Or
does.
my parents probably nurtured that in me. Oh, clean the
Okay.
house. We love for you to clean the house.
I used to be that way, and I joke all the time, I'm going to lift up my green screen for those viewing on the behind the scenes channel. I'm not a hoarder, but I am a slob. Look at all that stuff on the ugly couch under the green screen there. I'm trying to hide. Right? The house is a mess. I gave up on being a neat freak years ago. But also for behind the scenes, if you're looking, I'm holding up the release that I got from Mickey Mickelson. And your book is called Perfect Office Pact. Yes?
Yep, that's it.
And what? Well, I'll go to the genesis of the book, but on here it says Declan Jordan crosses a massive line, and he'll probably lose his job if Myra files a complaint. Well, the first thing that grabbed me was Declan. Why that name?
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. I have my reader email list, and I decided to send out to my readers like what name should be for the major character, and they picked the name.
You crowdsourced it in a way.
Yeah, I crowdsourced the name. So
well, that's a perfectly valid and good reason to do that. But I'm as an author myself, I am always curious. Usually there's a point, a purpose, a reason of some sort behind every name. It's usually not, oh, give me the phone book. Oh, page 11 randomly. Oh, there it is. Abbott. What, right? There's usually a reason. So, indeed, what was the genesis, or where did the title come from? The Perfect Office Pact.
right, so Mira is the main character, and she's starting a new job at a real estate firm. Declan is the owner of the firm, and he was also her professor when she was in real estate school. So she kind of assumes that he doesn't like her. Like, she's very outspoken, and she's quick to answer questions, and I guess we don't really see that part, but her impression is that he doesn't like her. But he's hiring her anyway, right? So she still has to come to this job and deal with a potential boss who maybe doesn't like her very much. And then the first day she gets, well, that's kind of a side thing, so I won't get into that. But
Yeah, we don't want to
very
give too many spoilers, right?
no, but Mira's in a relationship at the beginning of this with and I don't even remember his name, but it's not important. Anyway, so Mira is with her boyfriend, and she is walking with her boyfriend, and they have a breakup, and they have an argument or a breakup, and she's upset, and so she walks away, and she realizes that Declan, the boss, is sitting there watching this whole encounter and has seen what happened, right? And has heard a lot of maybe her personal information that she didn't really want to share. So if you fast forward a couple of weeks, it comes up that they are going to this training session, and Declan's going to go. Mira, as a new employee, is going to go, and there are a couple of employees going. She's anxious about this, Anyway, but Declan decides that he overhears that Mira doesn't know who her dad is, and he decides on his own to find her dad.
Uh-oh.
So he steals personal information from HR, right? He goes in the computer system, he finds the personal information, and he does this search because he's a computer guru. And he finds her dad, basically. And then when they get to California, he drops it on her, hey, well, I really came to this meeting because this is where your dad is. And she is, well, number one, she's grateful that, okay, yes, this potentially is her dad, who she might not have had a chance to meet otherwise. But number two, this guy has stolen her information, and major breach of, personal identity, personal line crossed. So she decides, well, I mean, yeah, she could go to the board and have him fired.
Let's leave it dangling at that as the tease. Because again, I don't want to give too much of the book away. We want to tease people into wanting to, of course, buy and read the book.
Right.
So the obvious then question with the lead in to this is, who is autistic and how does that play a role?
Right. So Declan is the autistic character. He is very high functioning, very smart person, but the personal interaction is a challenge for him. So he crossed this line.
Right. That makes perfect sense to me there now. Yes.
Yeah, he crossed this line to help her because he felt something for her and he wanted to help her. However misguided the help may have been, but it was within his ability to help her. So he did. But there are a lot of lines that got crossed there.
Yeah. A lot of complex emotions there. As you said, I kind of eventually wanted to know who my father was, but this was not the way to either get that information or have it presented. So it gets rather complicated in there, I guess.
Right. Yeah. And where the pact comes in is that she decides, okay, well, he crossed a line. I could tell, or I could take advantage of this. So Mira becomes a very morally gray character too, right?
Right. Ethically challenged in that sense also, yes.
So she decides that Declan needs to help her, like give her weekly sessions to help her learn the real estate business and help her get ahead in return for not telling anyone what he did.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Joseph M. Leonard, host of Constitutionals, taking a brief moment to thank myarchic.com. Together we share the Christian and family value of honoring family. myarchic.com helps you do that. Preserving family memories online also therefore can be shared online. Think of MyArchic like a Noah's Ark for images, audio, video, preserving, honoring your family. Thank you again to the folks over at myarchit.com.
A little harsh in the terminology, but blackmail, extortion.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit there. So, and it's very new for me to write a character who does something like that. So I was surprised with the storyline myself.
Yeah. Well, it's not direct blackmail or extortion for a direct payment, but I mean, money through increased access and increased knowledge, and then ability to make more money on her own for herself she wouldn't have otherwise gotten to without that. So it in and of itself is very complicated there too.
Yeah, well, maybe she would have gotten there, but maybe not so fast, right?
Right. Yeah, thank you. That's the better way to put it. She tried to kind of cut some corners and speed the progress along. Yeah. So this is not your first book though, right?
No. It's the fourth. Yeah, it's the fourth book in the Perfect Romance series. So each book in the series highlights a different character. All the characters are related to each other. They all went to the University of Kentucky together. So each book is a standalone and you can read it in and of itself, but you kind of are able to see the other characters as they progress throughout their lives too.
I love what you did there because I'm doing the same thing with my Life and Living series of books. They're semi-interrelated based on topic, but they're each their own standalone primary characters with some occasional throwback or crossover name drops. But if you only read one book, you don't miss out. So it sounds like the same thing here. Any one book can be read. They don't necessarily have to be in order if you want to read the whole series.
Right. I think eventually it might matter because some people might be together when you didn't realize they were together or not together. But that's your probably very small details. You would still want to know how it happened, right?
Again, necessarily order-wise, you could think of it as if you go back to book 2 after reading book 4, then you think of book 2 as kind of a flashback.
That would work too, yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't really completely disrupt, like some books, some series are very much chronological anchored. And if you don't read them in order, or you miss a book, you miss a whole lot. And it sounds like I did, and you tried to minimalize that as best possible.
Definitely, yeah. And it's very, the reason for like including diverse characters. I mean, Mira is a Hispanic character, Declan is an autistic character. Other characters in the other book are Asian American and Black characters. So I really wanted to give that whole flavor in the series of multicultural relationships and multicultural experiences and learning more about just acceptance of diversity.
Yeah, now again, ADHD, OCD. Now my brain's off it too. Remember the song? It takes every kind of people. I forget who sings that, but yeah, no, diversity and inclusion is indeed a good thing if meant in the national U.S. e pluribus unum sense, from many one, as opposed to kind of, unfortunately, woke, which is more about identity politics and dividing the cultures rather than really bringing them together, and diversity about paying homage to other cultures, not appropriating other cultures. Do you cover any of that at all? Because of the different varying types of characters?
Really? No, it doesn't get political at all. I mean, these characters were drawn together in college and they were in the same sorority. And that was their bond initially. And then they've just grown and now they're out of college. They're all like seeking their careers and their happily ever afters. So that kind of what has joined them in the beginning. And then we just kind of see them diverge out or
Yeah.
from that.
Well, yeah, the way I see it is you're indeed in the E pluribus unum kind of camp with this. Indeed, they came together with through the same college, somewhat like-minded, regardless of skin tone or origin, and understand that other people are still bleed red inside. Yes. And it's unfortunately exterior forces that keep wanting to divide us all the time.
Yeah, we definitely most people have had the experience of falling in love and getting broken up with, or all of those human things.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty much the same human nature, human condition that I go into my Life and Living series also. Right. We all deal with those things. And if we could focus on things that indeed we share and bring us together, the world in general would be better without having to talk about it. I would think potentially people would see that as an unspoken underlying thing, maybe.
Right. I mean, I just wanted to bring a lot of different characters to the stage. I mean, because that's what reflects what we see every day, right? So, yeah.
Oh, I gotta confess, today is one of those I'm just so tired kind of days. So, you know what I mean? We all have them. So it's like days upon days leading up to this. Oh yeah, a million questions. And now that I'm talking to you though, they've all left my brain. Are you currently working on a when did Perfect Office Pact release?
That released 2020, must have been 2024, maybe, or 2025. No, it's 2025. It was February 2025. So a little bit over a year ago, right?
Okay, so
my brain is not working, but yeah. So yeah. The next book comes out so I'm having re-releases of the first two books in April and May. So that's Perfect and Perfect Always. And then the fifth book, Perfect Secrets, comes out in June.
Okay, yeah, that was the obvious next question I was leading to. Is there a next book? And indeed, we've already covered that. So it's all set and ready to go, or you're working on it now?
No, it's all set. It's on pre-order on Kindle. This one's set in the Denver area, so that was kind of fun for me to write of where I live now. And with two new characters who you will learn their story as well.
That's good. You get to live other places through other people and books that way. I really like that. So where do the other ones, what settings do the other ones take place?
So the first book is kind of a weird book. It's called Perfect, and it is an alternative ending, kind of choose your own ending romance. So it follows, the main character, Chloe, through 5 different parts of her life, and she makes different decisions. And depending on those decisions, she moves to Paris and she moves to New York City. And she meets different people. So a different person is her happily ever after person, depending on where she is and what choices she makes, right? And I kind of wanted to highlight that, depending on your decisions, which path your life takes, that there could be a multitude of people that might be potentially there for you to find and fall in love with, right? Like, just because your life may take a turn that you didn't expect doesn't mean that, all is lost.
Amen. That's good. And I like the title because in a way, I hope you meant it ironically, because there's no such thing as perfect. And that's part of the point here, right? There's not that one perfect person. There are many potential mates or partners. And some people forever live their lives in a small pond and never exceed that pond. That doesn't mean they won't find someone. And others are world-renowned travelers, and they may have a hard time finding someone in a way because they're almost meeting too many people, if that makes sense.
Right. And the idea that maybe the person you fall for or your partner that seems like the perfect fit is perfect for you, not, they're so, yeah.
And it always, and I started recording music again. I'm using the Suno music system. I just wrote a song the other day called Complex Beings about this, and another called Hectic Living. Things are so fast paced, we need to slow down. It's like, do you remember Mac Davis he had the song Stop and Smell the Roses, right? You got to stop and smell the roses along the way or you'll miss a lot. Even different parts of our lives, we go through seasons of change at times. May not be the same person we were in high school, in college, and after college.
Right. Yeah. So that book is the perfect book, or perfect, the book is sort of highlighting that, right? You're a different person.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So
different things are important as you grow and mature and get older. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it just wasn't some weird thought. I did pick up properly on that. Yes.
Yes, you did. You hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Right. And then the second book, Perfect Always, is Chloe's story. So in the beginning, I thought I might write like a full-length novel based on each one of those parts from the first book. And then I thought, well, I think people really need the real story, right? So Perfect Always is Chloe's story of who she decides, who is her happily ever after person. And then from there, As Close to Perfect is Bree is the main character. And then, of course, Perfect Office Pact is Mira. And then coming up, Perfect Secrets is Danny and Tanner are the main characters.
I really love the title As Close to Perfect because, again, there's no such thing as perfect, especially on this fallen world. No, the only perfect person I've ever think is perfect was when Jesus Christ walked the planet. The rest of us are flawed and frail, imperfect, and trying to do the best we can. And that title really suggests that to me.
Right. And it's my history is, I have told you what a neat freak I am. So you know that about me. And growing up as a young adult, I developed anorexia, but a lot of it was around those needing to be perfect in every way and needing to control things, right? And through recovery, I was able to let go of a lot of those, okay, you don't have to be the straight A student. You don't have to look perfect all the time. It is those imperfections and those challenges which binds us all together. And that was like my major learning from that experience. So I think this series is a little bit about that too. Like all of our imperfections kind of make us all perfect, although not you see what it's not perfect, but
yes, I
perfectly
believe,
human.
There you go. Yeah, very, very human. Again, none of us are perfect. We are all human. As we said earlier, we all have our quirks and whatnot. That is what makes us all individuals and somewhat unique, and why Martin Luther King Jr., content of character, you can't lump people together based on a group identity, or shouldn't. But those quirks and those imperfections, and recognizing everybody has one, whether some might be better at hiding it than others, right? Or something like that. But we all have them, and that can be a bonding thing.
Definitely, yeah. And trying to live that perfect life, like, just isolated me from people. So it definitely was the opposite of what I wanted.
And also, I'm worried people here as close to perfect, and their mind might go immediately, well, you're settling. Well, we make compromises and settle, and I don't really want to say it that way, I don't think, but it's not settling. It's recognizing and understanding everything in life are trade-offs and compromises. And the only way you're going to meet a perfect person for you is to clone yourself to be to actually be you and marry yourself. Yeah, right. Again, all relationships are work. No two people are ever going to agree 100% of the time.
Definitely. And hopefully, if you're cloning and marrying yourself, you're accepting and loving yourself too. I mean, that's like a huge check right there, right? Like,
that's a whole other problem too. Yeah, generally there are things we don't like. I'm so glad you said that, right? Because generally we all have things we don't like about ourselves too. And I've got several episodes that I talk about the need to go to the bathroom mirror, look yourself in the face, and be honest with yourself. A lot of people can't self-reflect, and they lie to everyone, including themselves. And we need to be honest in ourselves first before we can really, truly be honest with someone else. Yes?
yes, definitely. I mean, yeah, you sometimes keep on blinders about things you don't want to face, I guess. um,
Okay, well, yeah, I've kind of been all over the map with you today.
that's okay. I feel like we're circling all the fun topics that are definitely related to this series.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, your series and my series, the Life and Living series, kind of mirror each other in a way in this human condition talk. And I rail about it all the time. People that want to live in a bubble and delusion, devoid of countless, forever of humanity's understanding of human nature. Our technological progress may have changed, but we as a species really haven't much.
No, it was just interesting. I was seeing that there's like proof that we had dogs before we ever needed dogs as pets, before there was even like hunting and, and things that we would use dogs for. So I was like, huh, we just always wanted that companionship, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, going back to Egypt, obviously, there's always been the connection with cats back in the Egyptian days. But yeah, that's a human companion issue there, a desire to have a relationship, even with another being, another species, a dog, a cat, a bunny, a ferret, or whatever.
Yeah. So I guess we don't change that much over time.
No, we like to think we do, but unfortunately we don't, other than, again, we all have seasons too, so we may change a little from who we once were to who we are now. We learn, we hopefully get wiser and grow a bit, yes?
Yes, I've learned that if I listen to a book while I'm cleaning, I can stay focused on the task in front of me instead of being like, squirrel, oh, I'm cleaning this. Now I'm going to clean this. I'm going to come back. So I learned that.
I'm so glad you said that. The movie Squirrel. And speaking of dogs, for those not looking on behind the scenes video, there's Maria's dog. Who is this?
This is Woody.
Woody. Hi, Woody. What a good baby.
Oh, hey, baby.
Say, yeah, I just want to be my mama right now. Okay, so starting to wrap things up, then again, we could go for hours. There's a bazillion more questions and topics we could discuss there. Unfortunately, all things must come to an end, as they say, and your dog really wants attention. So we'll let you get to the dog, let you get to Woody. What is your website?
TrishaCopeland.com or MariaJaneRomance.com.
All right, we'll go with Maria Jane. I'm writing it down, romance.com, because it might be in the press release, but I didn't circle it. So I wrote it down now. But so you've kind of doxed your real name. Why did you choose then Maria Jane as your pen name?
Right. So I was writing young adult fantasy about witches and fairies and vampires. And these books are adult romances. They're not erotic books, but they have adult scenes in them. So you don't want one person jumping from a YA fantasy into something that might not be appropriate for them. So I changed the name to keep it a little bit separate. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Maria Jane, and give Woody a big hug for us. He's
going to demand it, I think.
Yep, there he is. What a good baby. Thank you. Take care. God bless, Maria.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Wide. Can't hit the off switch. Thoughts keep spinning like a glitch in the mix. Counting sheep, but they're running track laps. Every number just snaps right back. Cut nails short so I don't pick skin. Check the door twice, then I check it again. Tiny wars in a tired head. All damn night never leaves the bed. Where's the off switch? I'm stuck in the loop again. Same three worries like my only friend. Scroll that list till the words all bend. I just want one quiet end. One quiet. Where's the off switch? Brain stuck bright on red. Chasing thoughts till the dawn breaks dead. Say let go, but it grips instead. I just want one quiet end. Lights all dim, but the mind's on blast. Replay, remake every moment that's passed. If I breathe in 4, then I breathe out 8. Maybe I can now count fade. Wash my hands till the doubt runs dry. Still hear what if I'm in under the tide. I know the script, but I hit rewind. Same sharp scene every single time. Is it me or the fear in my name? If I stop, do I fall out of frame? friend. Scroll that list till the words all bend. I just want one quiet end. One quiet end! Where's the off switch? I'm stuck in the loop again. Same three worries like my only friend. Scroll that list till the words all bend. I just want one quiet end. One quiet end. Where's the off switch? Brain stuck bright on red. Chasing thoughts till the dawn breaks dead. Say let go but it grips instead. I just want one quiet end. One quiet end. OCD brain issues, why I can't hit the off switch. Thoughts keep spinning like a glitch in the mix. Counting sheep but they're running track laps. Peace of mind I seem to forever lack.
Count the crack in the ceiling and the shadow by the door. Did I lock it? Did I check it? Did I check it once more? Every thought like a bright red warning, every sigh like a stuck alarm. Breath is crawling up my chest line, hands curl into my arms. Still the night, still the numbers spinning in my head. Let the list I'm holding fall right off the edge of the bed. Still the night, let the looping march unwind. I don't need to get it perfect, just a pillow for my mind. Tap the light switch with my knuckle. Whisper last time, then I'm done. Heart says run it back 11. Brain says 12 or you're the one. Every what if like a siren, every memory double checked. But this blanket is a shoreline, I can step back from the wreck. Still the night, still the numbers spinning in my head. Let the list I'm holding fall right off the edge of the bed. Still the night, let the looping march unwind. I don't need to get it perfect, just a pillow for my mind. In 2, 3, out 2, 3. Name the things that I can see. Old gray hoodie on the chair, single sock, some tangled hair. In 2, 3, out 2, 3. Nothing bad is hiding here with me, just a hum and a hallway light, just a body getting tired of the fight. Still the night, still the numbers spinning in my head. Let the list I'm holding fall right off the edge of the bed. Still the night, let the looping march unwind. I don't need to get it perfect, just a pillow for my mind. One last check of the window, one last glance at the door. Then I lay that tiny soldier gently sleeping on the floor. Still the night, stay a while, guard the corners of this room, till my mind turns down its volume and my dreams make a little more room.
Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help.
Thank you for having tuned into another Constitutionalist podcast show. I really appreciate that you stopped by. Again, please like, share, subscribe. We need you to help spread the Constitutionalist movement. Thank you again. Take care. God bless. Love you all.
Every day and night, believes in freedom and making his voice heard, sharing his message over all the earth. God loves Joseph for all he'll do. Stand strong and God bless you.